good afternoon. So today we are going to do a set of exercises that are quite possibly, well, they're targeted at the muscles that you are quite possibly ignoring. Who knows, maybe you're not. But we're going to do the neck stabilizers, the core stabilizers, from the front and the back, the shoulder stabilizers, the foot strengtheners, like the arch supporters, and the small glute muscles. And why should you care about these small muscles? Well, they exist for a reason, and most of them are for stability. So if you can get some stabilization at your joint or close to your joints, then you can do the bigger movements that most people care about a little bit more better. So let's start with the core, because it's always a good idea to start from the center. And we are just going to warm up. This is a typical warm up that I might do, where I'm rocking my pelvis back and forth and pressing my low back to the ground. And the reason why is because I'm about to do an exercise that's going to require a segmental movement of my spine, and that's hard to do if I'm just like hanging out stiff in the center. So let's do 6 more. Exhaling to press down, scooping that belly button in, and really trying to like stretch the area from like your ribs down to your pelvis this way. And then, how many more did I say? Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then the next exercise, I hesitate to do this because it's going to make me have a double chin. But that's how you know you're doing it well. So you're going to rock, kind of do the same thing you were doing before, but your neck, the back of your neck isn't going to actually touch the ground. But you're actively nodding your chin down to stretch space at the back of your neck. And that should feel like it's working under your throat, behind your throat. Shouldn't feel like a bunch of tightness by your shoulders or at the surface of your neck, but kind of like behind your throat. All right, so now to make that a little bit more challenging, I'm going to take this ball, put it behind my low back, and so now I'm going to have to do it against a little bit of gravity. So I'm going to nod my chin down, and then hold this position. And then relax by putting my hand behind my head, because this is something that takes some endurance, and you might not have it, so we're going to do this little rest here, and nod chin down, hold it. You should be able to kind of move your shoulders around while you're holding this position, and then relax, hand behind the head again. Let's do that one more time. Nod chin down, and then hold it, shoulders are loose, and relax. And then finally, the third version of this, which will be the next level of progression, because now we have to really hold the weight of our head. You're going to nod your chin down, and then lift up from here, and hold it. Your ribs are flattened down, your belly's in, your head is just like like you can just slide a hand underneath. And you feel like you're making a double chin. And then come on down. All right, so that was the bottom and the top of what's going to make up this next exercise. Next exercise is segmentally rolling down one vertebra at a time on the way down. Flatten out and exhale, curl yourself up. Why are we doing this? We are doing the slow motion because it's forcing us to use one section at a time of your core muscles to let you down. So as a comparison, if you look like this, then you know that you are not segmentally coming up and down. So think of yourself as peeling your spine, like laying your spine down and peeling your spine off. And that is a little combination of that chin tuck situation and that curling under of your pelvis that we talked about earlier. Let's do that 3 more times. suppose I could just show a little bit of everything. And you can continue doing them, but this is just about like 8 repetitions of every exercise, and then you can do all the exercises again. All right, so now, so that was neck stabilizer and spinal stabilizers from the back. Now we're going to do our hip stabilizers. So we are going to do a little bit of internal rotation of this back hip. My legs are turned this way, and we're going to lift and lift and lift and lift. And if this is difficult for you, you can potentially put something higher, lean over, and you can lift here. Same motion, but there's a little bit of, this requires like more internal rotation of your hip. So it could be challenging. All right, and then switch to the other side. Actually, I'm having trouble with internal rotation on this side. Maybe not so much today. All right, so when I'm doing this, it's like not that I'm bending and straightening my leg. I'm rotating my thigh, which thereby lifts the bottom half of my leg up. Great. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so that was internal rotators of the hip. Now let's do external rotators. I'm going to grab my foam roller, but you could use a ball or a sweatshirt. And what I'm going to do is lie on my side. I'm going to face myself diagonally so you can see. And one leg is on top, resting. So you could rest on a ball or anything else. And then bend the bottom leg. And then I'm going to lift and rotate here. So now I'm doing external rotation of the hip. So turning out of the hip. For those of you that care about hip turnout, like you ballet dancers out there. This is a nice one for the hip external rotators, the small ones that are deep and close to your hip joint. And if this is too easy, you can rig up like a TheraBand pulling down on you, or you can wear a little ankle weight, or you can hold it and then lift it off the ground. You lift your thigh off the ground. And let's do 2 more. 1 and 2. All right, other side. It's just like a sampling of all the different smaller muscles. Okay, so lying on my side, bend the bottom leg and rotate. 7, 6, 5. Let me turn so you can see this. So I'm like this, bottom leg is bent, and it's rotating like this. It's not bending and straightening this leg again. It's just the thigh rotating. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. Now we're going to do the shoulder rotators. So I'm going to have my band, and you can hook this up onto something, but I'm not going to hook it up onto anything because not much stable around here. And I'm going to do 2 for 1. So I'm using one hand as a stabilizer and the other hand as the mover. Both of them are getting a little bit of a workout, right? One of them is working in a stable position, an isometric type exercise on this hand. And then the other hand is rotating through my available range of motion. Notice that my elbows by my side. I like to think of things like better to do it, I don't know, make it convenient. Do something better than not at all. But it is better to have something underneath your elbow, maybe not this big, to keep a little bit of space between your elbow and your waist, but not a ton of space. Like this is often what people end up doing when they do this exercise. So just like we were doing with the hip, the upper arm, just like the thigh was before, is rotating, and that is bringing my lower arm out to the side. All right, so now I'm going to wrap it around this side and pull this arm. You can do both arms, but I kind of like the idea of situation happening on one side and a moving through range of motion situation on the other side. Okay, let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. So to review, we did deep neck stabilizers, segmental movement of the spine, focusing on the little bitty muscles at the belly. We did external and internal rotation of the hip to get the muscles that are really close to the hip. Now we're going to go on our hands and knees to get the little muscles of the back. It's pretty hard to isolate those muscles, but this is a pretty nice way to get those stabilizers here. And actually, if you're supporting from the bottom, you're getting the stabilizers here, the small muscles. And then if you put your chin down like we did earlier with that, chin tucking, like double chin motion we did earlier, you're getting your deep neck stabilizers. All right, so those little muscles next to your spine, they're like anti-rotation muscles. When someone throws you this way, or when you are moving your arm back for throwing, or if you are, I don't know, twisting or turning, to prevent you from overdoing it, those little muscles hold on to keep you from doing that. So we are going to work those muscles by adding a rotational challenge. When I bring my leg out to the side, my body wants to go this way. So I am lifting up and down, resisting this throw over here. And then to know that I'm not going to go over to that backside, I'll put that arm up, this arm up, so that I know, because if I go too much this way, I'm going to fall, right? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and switch sides. 8, 7. You can see I'm kind of twisting a little bit. I have some decreased range in this hip, so I should be a little bit more diligent about not letting myself go too far just to get the range. Just stop where I start to feel my pelvis turn over. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, finally, the muscles that support the arch of the foot. I'm going to move this mat over so that you can see my foot a little bit better. My black socks. I do not want to take my socks off because it has been a very long time since a pedicure or nail polish, new nail polish. Okay, so you can't see very well here, I guess. Let me move over here because it's a fuzzy carpet. But I am kind of like patting the floor with my foot, like this motion. And my hands are doing exactly what my feet are doing. They're not doing this. That's scrunching my fingers, scrunching my toes. They're doing this. Flat toes, arch up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There's a ton of different foot exercises, but we're just doing like a little bit of everything throughout the body, all the small muscles. So there's another video on our YouTube and on our Instagram feed where it is all foot exercises. But let's just stick to this one right now. We're supporting the arch of our foot. So here's the thing. When you scrunch your toes versus when you don't scrunch your toes, you are using different muscles. And the muscles that you're using when you don't scrunch your toes are the muscles that live right in your foot. They're not the ones that come up to your calf. The ones that come up to your calf are the ones that scrunch your toes like this. So these ones that are right in your foot, they're kind of underappreciated, underutilized. And actually I can totally feel that on my left side. This is my left side. Because whenever I demonstrate this exercise to the patients that come in, I show them the right side every time. And so like my right side's getting better at it, but my left side is having a hard time keeping the ball of my foot on the ground while I lift the arch. So when the ball of my foot's on the ground, my flat toes are on the ground, but the arch is lifting up. I'm doing extra on this side because I need it, but maybe you do too. You can switch to the other side if you don't. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so just to review, We did deep neck stabilizers with a like chin tucking, double chin making motion. We did segmental movement of the spine as we slowly rolled back and up. And then we did hip turning in with this exercise. And we did hip turning out when I laid on the side and then rotated like this. We did shoulder rotators or stabilizers when we took the band and pulled one way and then the other way. And then we did foot stabilizers with a little, this motion of our feet. So those are all the kind of not so focused on muscles that really make a big difference. I mean, we have those muscles for a reason, right? And so, sometimes when we do big motions, we rely on the other bigger muscles that lay on top of those ones that we just worked today. And we need to take some time to focus on those little ones. So I hope that helps, and give those a try and see if strengthening those muscles helps make your other bigger like fitness, conditioning, strengthening exercises even more effective. All right, have a good lunch.